Okay, music fans, welcome back. It is I, Dave, the real music observer, observing real music in real time for real people, just like you, just like me, and just like my pal Vince Gill. First of all, Vince, you're a good guy, no question about it. Good human being, nice wife to Amy Grant, great singer, great songwriter. No issues with Vince Gill and Amy Grant. No issues with Vince Gill solo. No issues with anything Vince Gill has done prior to joining the Eagles. Okay? I don't even really have a problem with him being in the Eagles. I just think the logic of him being in the band is just a little bizarre when you've got Tim Schmidt there. Now, I've already said this in multiple videos, but what I'm going to touch on in this video is it seems to be this bromance thing that happened and allowed Vince to get into the band. Joe Walsh has been hanging out with Vince and playing music with Vince Gill, which to me, I mean, this High Lonesome Road guy and this scraggly, creaky, sort of off-the-wall chainsaw in the hotel room, TV set out the window. Of course, he's not doing that stuff anymore, but I mean, it was the rock and roll persona. And that's why you bring Joe Walsh in, because you make the Eagles into a bona fide rock band. You had Felder, who was playing the licks, but you bring in Walsh with the personality, and even the guys today always joke about how Joe Walsh just wrecked hotel rooms and took lessons from Keith Moon and so forth, and it's funny stuff. And as a rock and roll guy, I look at that, and then I look at Vince Gill, well-mannered, sort of this antithesis of Walsh, and I guess maybe because the Eagles audience, is getting older, getting a little grayer, and things aren't what they used to be. People aren't into rock stars who wreck hotel rooms, but it's the spirit of who you bring in a band, who makes that band go in a certain direction. Did a video, wasn't really watched a whole lot, about how I think the Eagles are really sort of pivoting toward a more country audience, and Vince Gill fits that. And country is big business. Guys like Chris Stapleton, who are going to be out on tour with the Eagles, at least at one select date. And I know there are other bands that have been out with the Eagles who kind of fit that whole persona. As a rock fan, though, it's kind of weird, because even though I love country music, it's almost as if, look, you guys decided you wanted to be a rock band and not like Desperado, okay? In fact, Desperado bombed when it came out because people, I think, were a little stunned that you did a cowboy album and you slowly pivoted away from that. And by the time Felder got in the band, you were a bona fide rock band, and it was great stuff. And now it's kind of like the band is going in the opposite direction. Felder's not in the band anymore. Joe still is, and Joe is fine with country music. I mean, look, the James Gang was a power trio that certainly had some elements of country in it, and I think Joe, throughout his career, especially on his acoustic songs like Help Me Through the Night and Tomorrow and stuff like that, it definitely has a vibe that you could consider country-ish. I think it's more West Coast than country, but see, and that's the thing, you bring Vince in, and it brings it more toward country and less. I'd rather see like a West Coast influence. Bring a guy who's hung out with Steely Dan, or somebody like that. Get Jeff Skunk Baxter out of retirement. I don't know. I know he's busy, working on the weapons systems and so forth, so he can't be bothered with us little people anymore. Look, Vince is in. It's good, but between the Don Henley bromance with the music and the greatest guitar player in the world, and I don't know. I mean, you could make an argument that there are a lot of great guitar players in the world. Vince isn't in my top 10. I mean, he's a good player. He's a picker. He's a different style player. I mean, maybe in a certain category you could throw him in there. You could put Roy Clark. Remember Roy Clark, the hee-haw guy? I mean, he could pick like nobody's business. The late Glenn Campbell could play a guitar upside down and backwards. I mean, and played all kinds of music, by the way, very diverse, part of the Wrecking Crew and so forth. Vince Gill, I don't know. He's in the band, and those ticket prices are going up, so get your tickets and enjoy the show. Maybe the last time we see the Eagles tour together like this. My guess is probably not, though. Hervé's off is seeing the dollar signs, and Don Henley seems like he's okay with that. All right, I'm done with this video. Vince Gill is in, the bromance is on, and I'll be back with more real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me and just like Vince Gill. We'll talk to you later.